Georgia, Georgia, how sweet the sound. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia. Okay, I grew up in Georgia.
Are you serious?
No, you are not. Represent.
So, I don't know, dude. Right off the bat, like, when you see someone getting dragged away by two buff-ass cops, just two meaty boys. When you see someone dragged away like that, I mean, it's usually it implies something bad's happened, right? That person's a threat, right? That person has to be dragged away because they're a threat. Well, I don't see how you could ever make the argument that knocking on a door is a threat. And the way she knocked was not very aggressive either. I've knocked harder on my brother's door just trying to get him to, like, give me my fucking PlayStation controller back. This happened in Georgia. This is the governor's office, the governor of Georgia. And these people are out there protesting because inside that door that she's knocking on is the Georgia governor and a few other Republicans, and they're signing into law this bill that restricts voting rights in Georgia. So ever since the Republicans in Georgia basically got dunked on by Stacey Abrams in the 2020 election, they've been basically just scrambling for ways to get you to stop voting. So you may remember in November when Joe Biden beat Donald Trump in Georgia by like 11,000 votes. And you might remember there was that call from Donald Trump to the Secretary of State.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
You guys remember this phone call, all right? These are the types of conversations that Republican politicians have when they're losing. He's like, bro, he's like, dude, I don't know. I mean, I need 11,000 votes. Come on. And even these Republican politicians are like, dude, I can't just do that. I can't just make 11,000 votes. So vote by mail was super popular this election, right? There's a pandemic. Obviously, people are going to want to vote by mail. And not, just get coughed on by strangers as they stand in line for 6 hours at a football stadium. That doesn't sound fun to anyone, right? So who would want to do that? Obviously, you're going to want to vote by mail. Now, white people still made up a majority of mail-in voters. There's just more white people in the state of Georgia and in the United States in general. So obviously, they're going to make up a majority of male voters, right? But this is key, okay? The white demographic in mail-in ballots dropped 13% from 2016 to 2020. The black share rose by 8%. Okay, so there's a drop in white voters using the mail system. There's a rise in black voters using the mail system. And what do Republicans do? Well, let's look at some of the things that this bill does. Shrinking the absentee ballot application window. Shrinking the application window for absentee ballots. How does that help voter integrity at all? Okay, in what way? Oh, now I have less time to sign up to vote. Great, now the election's going to be so fair and honest. Thank you, very cool. Limiting mail ballot drop box hours. Just straight up, less hours. Hey, shouldn't we be making it easier to vote? Isn't that kind of like isn't the whole democracy thing kind of based on the idea that everyone kind of gets a voice? No, we're just gonna limit the hours that you can vote. It also eliminates early in-person voting on Sundays in the weeks leading up to an election. So voting on Sundays, that's a key thing right there, okay? Pay attention to that. Voting on Sundays. Why are they going after voting on Sundays? We already know there was a surge in black people using mail-in ballots, and they go after mail-in ballots, right? Well, why do you think they're going after voting on Sundays? I guess do people just do the most fraud on Sundays? Is the most fraud happening on Sundays? Sunday's just the day when they're like, time to go do some fraud. People just wake up like, what a beautiful Sunday morning. The birds are chirping. The sun is shining. I'm going to go do some voter fraud. What a beautiful day. Nope. None of that. It's not that. It's just, let me just read this to you. So, in the weeks leading up to an election, on Sundays, in a lot of black churches, they have this thing called Souls to the Polls, where essentially people go to church, and then after church, they get on a bus, and they go vote. It's pretty simple. It's a nice little community thing. Make it part of your your routine every Sunday. Seems like a pretty cool thing. And Brian Kemp says, nope, that's fraud. I don't like it when black people vote. Don't do that anymore. Not allowed. And oops, black voters vote more on Sundays than any other group. Uh-oh. That's not a good look. Oh, no. Okay, so we know that Republicans don't want people to vote, and they especially don't want black people to vote. But why are they doing this now? Why now of all times? Well, there's this woman called Stacey Abrams. Let me introduce you to Stacey Abrams. This is Stacey Abrams. She's awesome, okay? Stacey Abrams is responsible for getting 800,000 new voters registered in Georgia. She has these two organizations called Fair Fight and the New Georgia Project. Basically, they go out and they say, hey, are you registered to vote? You know, when you're going to the grocery store and you're like trying to mind your own business and the people are like, hey, are you registered to vote? That's them. That's basically them. They got a bunch of new people registered to vote, not just black people, but, you know, Stacey Abrams is a black woman and she's focused on getting black and disenfranchised voters on the voter rolls. Okay. So this was a huge turnout for black voters. It was a record turnout in history. Okay. And Stacey Abrams played a huge hand in that. And Republicans don't want that. Not just because black voters tend to overwhelmingly vote Democrat and they were able to flip the state blue, but also because a lot of Republican policies aren't actually that popular. 63% of U.S. adults want health care. Oh, how? No. How do you convince everyone that that's just not something they want? No, you don't want that. Healthcare? No, just you don't want that. 63% also say we should have free college. These policies that they're pushing, where the Republicans are like, hey, we don't want to give you stuff. And everyone's like, surprisingly, everyone's like, actually, we want stuff. We kind of want stuff. Can we actually have some stuff? And they're like, no, I don't want to do that. So basically, Brian Kemp is signing this bill into law behind closed doors. Totally not a weird thing to do at all when you're trying to claim that this is about voter transparency, right? This is about integrity, which is why you're just signing it with your buddies behind closed doors, right? So that's where we got this video, right? He's signing that bill behind closed doors, and this woman's knocking on the door because she's like, hey, you're disenfranchising black voters. We see that, and you're signing it behind closed doors. Why are you doing that? And she gets dragged away. Maybe let's give Brian Kemp the benefit of the doubt. Why don't we? What he look at him. He looks like a nice guy, right? Maybe he was like, oh no, that shouldn't have happened. You know, they shouldn't have dragged her away, right? Let's see what his reaction is.
Representative Cannon, you know, you'd have to question or ask the Georgia Department of Public Safety about, you know, what happened there. It's unfortunate that a sitting state representative would actually stomp and kick a Georgia State Patrol officer.
What? What? Excuse me, sir. Did we watch the same video? I know your door was closed. You were inside with your boys signing a bill. But you saw the video, right? Someone showed you the video. They had to, right? Someone had to show him the video. And he was just like, oh my God. She stomped on his foot. Looks like she's pretty calmly walking, right? I mean, she's reacting as any normal person would when they get seized by two meatheads. Two guys who fucking... Look at these dudes, dude. These two fucking meatwads. These guys, right? They grab her and they fucking drag her away forcefully, right? She's reacting as any normal person would in this situation. How would you react? She's resisting a little bit, right? She's not hurting the police officer. Not once did I see her step on their foot, which, by the way, oh, I'm a police officer and I can't handle getting my foot stepped on when I'm dragging someone away for knocking on a door. Oh, poor me. But I don't even see her stepping on anyone's foot, right? And if anyone's wondering, you know, why is she doing that? Why isn't she just walking with them? Well, I mean, I think if I were her, I would want to show that I'm not doing this willingly, that I'm not okay with this, right? I would want to stop myself and say, hey, you're going to have to drag me away. I mean, if you're gonna literally if you're gonna obstruct my right to peaceful protest, if you're gonna be such a clear operator for fascism, I'm gonna not let it happen. Just keep stepping on my green screen. It's fucking up my shit. Stop it. Okay. I'm too tall for a green screen, so I had to literally tape it to my ceiling. That's the only way I was able to get myself to fit on this green screen. Let's see what else old Brian had to say. Bry guy, as I like to call him.
Georgians will no doubt be soon overwhelmed with fancy TV ads, mailers,
Fancy
and
TV
radio
ads.
spots.
So right away, like, I noticed something about this, and this is not whatever. This is not like a smart point, but like, doesn't this just like, okay, if you're black and you're watching this, or you're not white and you're watching this, you might not be able to relate to this, but if you're white, doesn't this remind you of like your crusty old like uncles or like some weird distant relative that you only see on occasion that always makes things weird? I was born and raised in Georgia, and I've met a lot of guys like this who will sit around and complain about shit, just dripping racism the whole time. Oop, dropped a little racism there, dropped a little here. Fancy TV ads about how I'm a racist. Isn't that crazy? Boy, I tell you what. Why does the sign... I've never seen someone do sign language in a way that's racist. I've never seen racist sign language. Like, first of all, nice beard, but that guy looks like I feel like if Brian Kemp just accidentally dropped the N-word during this speech, that guy would just comfortably just like sign it, no problem. If Brian Kemp was just dropped an N-bomb, that guy'd be like, no problem, whoop, signed it. Be like, hey, why'd you sign it? You didn't have to sign it. You could have stopped. You could have put your hands down for a second. My man would have signed that shit way too comfortably. Just whoa! Did he just sign the N-word? What the fuck?
Left-wing groups funded by out-of-state billionaires are already doing that now. According to them, if you support voter ID for absentee ballots, you're a racist. According to them,
voter
if you
ID.
believe in protecting the security and sanctity of the ballot box, you're a, quote, Jim Crow in a suit and tie, end quote.
Jim Crow in a suit and tie. Oh my God. How could they say something about me like that? So Bry Guy, I like to call him Bry Guy. Hey, Bry Guy, cool speech, man. So you say you're not a racist, right? Oh yeah, man. I'm not a racist. You know, I'm a good guy. I'm just trying to look out for the safety and integrity of elections. That's cool, Bry. That's pretty cool, Bry Guy. I like that. I like your style, man. That's pretty cool. Hey, nice painting, by the way. When you're signing that bill, that's a cool painting. Where is that painting? It looks cool. Where is that place? Oh, that's just it's just a plantation. What? Did you say that's a plantation behind you? Not a good look, my guy. Hey, Bry Guy. That's not a good look, my bro. So how dare you suggest I'm a racist? How dare you say that about me? Bry Guy, I'm a good guy, okay? Just trying to protect the integrity of elections, right? With this plantation behind me. Just no big deal. Nice job, Brian. But that's not all. Okay, so while he was Secretary of State in 2017, okay, Bry Guy removed 560,000 people from the voter rolls because they'd skipped too many elections. They skipped too many elections. They just hadn't voted in a while. And Bry Guy's like, this is fraud. These people haven't voted in a while. I'm going to take them all off. 560,000 people gone. Okay, off the voter rolls. What was his reason for doing that? Huh? What do you think? Oh, he was stopping them? He was safeguarding from fraud, of course. Obviously. He's a Secretary of State. He's got to safeguard from fraud. It's not like he had any other motivation for doing that. Except for that he ran for governor in 2018 against Stacey Abrams. Who do you think won that election, huh? Who do you think won? You want to guess? You want to guess who won that election? Oh, Bry Guy. You did it again. 560,000 people. So a lot of those people re-registered. A lot of those people were like, hey, I don't remember. I thought I was registered to vote. And that's just kind of not cool. So those people re-registered to vote. 65% of those who re-registered did so in the same county. Okay, so if you think about that, what that means is that 65, a majority of the people who re-registered to vote after that happened, hadn't moved, hadn't died, hadn't gone anywhere. They were right there. All right, and Bry Guy and his friends are like, well, they could have moved it. We don't want dead people voting. We can't have that. 65% of the people, yeah, I'm still here, right here where I was before. Still alive. Still want to vote. Sorry I didn't vote the last couple years. My fault. Sorry, didn't realize that was a required thing that I just have to vote every time or else I just can never vote again. Sorry, my fault, dude. Okay, so we got a guy. We got good old Benny Shapiro, okay? As my friend RM Brown over on the RM Brown video vlogs likes to call him, Benny Pepino.
The Democrats are pushing a lie. The lie is that Republicans are attempting an act of voter suppression. Karl Rove points out in the Wall Street Journal today that this is not true. He says moves by Republican legislators to reform state election laws are drawing incendiary accusations from Democrats. Former Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams denounced them as Jim Crow in a suit and tie. Vice President Kamala Harris declared, quote, it's all voter suppression by any other name.
I'm sorry. Again with this fake he's going to do this fake outrage thing over the Jim Crow in a suit and tie. I mean, yeah, bro. You're just trying to stop black people from voting. I'm sorry that someone called you what you are. But they're going to act all fake woke and butthurt over this. They're going to literally, like, be special snowflakes about this fucking Jim Crow in a suit and tie thing. It's just like, oh my God. Shut up. Whatever. As he's drinking from a cup called leftist tears. This is the guy who's like, yeah, be a man, grow up. Don't get offended by things. He's drinking out of a cup called leftist tears. Being like, why did you call us Jim Crow? I know it's not fair.
But because Democrats wish to federalize election law and make it easier than ever. For the Democratic Party to skew elections. Okay. Remember, in Georgia, okay, we've had Brian Kemp remove 560,000 people from the voter rolls as Secretary of State the year before he runs for governor. Okay? Not mentioned by Ben Shapiro. Not mentioned at all. Doesn't matter. Fake. Whatever. With things like ballot harvesting.
Ballot harvesting.
Ballot harvesting is, to my mind, the most dangerous voting procedure that you could have in a free country right now.
Okay, what is
Having the party basically just deploy activists door to door to go pick up ballots from just blue voters, for example.
Dangerous.
Is a great way of skewing elections. It makes elections not about who decides to vote that day, but about how much money the Democratic Party can spend on going door to door to actually gather ballots and then have party activists who cannot be trusted with the ballots drive those things over to the post office, for example, or drive them to a ballot box.
Okay, so this is a big claim he's making, all right? Ballot harvesting is the most dangerous possible thing, okay? It's so dangerous. Having... I just like to imagine him, like, running into the room. He's like, I gotta talk about this. This is so dangerous. It's so bad. And they're like, what, Ben? What? Oh, my God. Oh, my God, what? There's these activists. They're going door to door. You mean Mormons? No, I'm talking about activists, and they ask you if you're registered to vote. And then they take your applications and, I guess, drive it somewhere to the post office?
It is ballot stuffing by any other name.
Ballot stuffing.
Case,
okay.
Joe Biden says that.
So this is ballot stuffing. Okay. So he's talking in thinly veiled terms. He's talking about Stacey Abrams. He's talking about things like the New Georgia Project and the Fair Fight Foundation. Right. Let's look into what Stacey Abrams and her organizations do. Their goals are to encourage voter turnout and to ensure that all votes are accurately counted. They also want to make sure absentee ballots are more consistent. This sounds like what Ben Shapiro wants, right? Shoring up voting laws or whatever he was saying, right? So this is what Brian Kemp says in 2014. In 2014, so Brian Kemp's talking to a bunch of his buddies. Bry Guy, my guy, Bry Guy, you know. What's up, Bry Guy? Hey, how you doing? He's talking to a bunch of his buddies, all right? In closing, so this is Brian Kemp, 2014. In closing, I just wanted to tell you real quick, after we get through this run-up, in closing, I just wanted to tell you real quick, after we get through this runoff, you know, the Democrats are working hard, and all these stories about them, you know, registering these minority voters, right, that are out there, and these minority voters that are sitting on the sidelines. If they can do that, they can win these elections in November. We should be doing that. All right. So this is Brian Kemp. He's saying, hey, these guys are going out and registering a bunch of people to vote. We should be doing that, and that's good, and that's gonna help them win. Okay. He's basically saying, yeah, this is fine. This is a good thing to do. He's basically saying this is a smart tactic, and we should try it too. We should try to get a bunch of people to register to vote. Okay? Meaning that he knows what they're doing, right? He knows they're not doing anything wrong, and he knows it's legit, and he even encourages his fellow members of the Republican Party to do it. In 2014, the same year he said that, right? The same year he said, well, yeah, what they're doing is smart. What they're doing is good. We should be doing that too. He launched an investigation on the New Georgia Project, another one of Stacey Abrams' foundations. Okay? So that case opened in 2014. That case is actually still open. All right? They just voted to move forward on it. So somehow they dragged Raphael Warnock into this. I'm not even going to pretend to know why. I guess he was involved in the organization somehow, and he just got elected, and he's black. So they're like, you're now a part of this, right? So they're investigating Raphael Warnock, radical liberal Raphael Warnock. Oh my God. For turning in 12,000 voter registration applications after the 10-day deadline to do so. So they had 10 days to turn in these applications, and they turned them in late. So obviously, let's investigate them, right? So they just voted recently in 2021 to move forward with that. Brad Raffensperger is the Secretary of State of Georgia, okay? And he's on the election board that voted to move forward with this investigation. And you may remember him from earlier. He's also the guy that Trump called to ask for the votes. I guess he was like, I can't do that because this phone call is obviously being recorded, you idiot. But then he went out and did it anyway. He's like, yeah, I'll find you the votes. Actually, even better, I'll delete votes. I'll stop people from voting. This is what Brad has to say. Election fraud is not tolerated in Georgia. When there is evidence of it, the people responsible face prosecution. But not Brian Kemp, though, because he's my friend. Who's this guy? Ben Roethlisberger? We gotta prosecute people for voter fraud. We gotta get him out of here. But not my friend Brian, because he's a good guy. He didn't mean it when he did it. Stacey Abrams also countersued the Secretary of State's office because they supposedly just lost a bunch of applications, right? The New Georgia Project turns in all these applications, and they're like, we just lost them, right? But that case didn't stay open for 7 years, did it? No, it didn't. It was over pretty quickly. Essentially, my understanding of what happened is Stacey Abrams turns in a bunch of voter applications, voter registrations, right? From her hard work out there canvassing, getting people standing outside of a grocery store, annoying people. Hey, have you registered to vote? Turns them in, and the Secretary of State of Georgia is just like, we lost them. Don't know where they went. Oops. Oops. And they got away with it. Judge Christopher Brasher ruled that there has been no clear... What did he say? Some nerdy shit. There has been no failure of a clear legal duty. Okay, this is from the article I was reading, right? Brasher noted in his ruling that many of the more than 40,000 applicants affected by the suit are underrepresented voters, including young people, people of color, and first-time registrants. So the guy, the judge who ruled in favor of Brian Kemp and Ben Roethlisberger and all his buddies, right? Even that guy was like, yeah, but this is affecting a lot of black people. It's kind of weird, right? And they were like, shut up. That's not what we paid you for. Shut up. We just paid you to say that we didn't do anything, and shut up. Stop talking about that. Shut up. Okay, so this is going to be a long video. I hope you guys liked it. At the end of these videos, I want to not just talk about problems I have with politics. I actually want to give you guys resources of how you can get involved and how you can stop this problem. Obviously, there's nothing that one person can do. And the fact is that this is going to take a change on a systemic level. But here are some things you can do. So you can go look into volunteering with the New Georgia Project or projects like that. Make sure you're registered to vote in your state. If you're in Georgia, make sure you put pressure on your local lawmakers. Give them a call. Here's Brian Kemp's office number. Here's the Secretary of State's number. Just give them a call. Make sure you're registered to vote, and stay active and put pressure on people because they need it. They need to be reminded that we're not going to just sit here and take that shit. So thanks for watching. I'm Ben Goldberg, and this is some type of fucking show I'm doing, I guess. All right.